What is good, everybody, and welcome to a traveling version of the Weekday Wages. That's right. I am Mark Wallace. It is Wednesday, and we are so glad that you were able to find us here. I am away from the friendly confines down in Miami-Dade, Florida, and yes, the weather is absolutely beautiful. Although, according to the locals here, temperatures in the low 70s, and I see people running around with jackets. That is mind-boggling to me. I am in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt right now. So it is what it is. But listen, we do not have a recap screen. So why waste any more time? Let's bring in the guy who helps me these Wednesdays. Robbie, where are you? There you are.
I'm here, man.
How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm good, man. I wish I was in Miami with you. Much better weather.
Yeah, well, you know what? I don't know about the Wi-Fi though. So
Yes,
there is
clearly.
that. There's some trade-offs. Hey, so you and I haven't had a chance to talk. I know that I watched the show yesterday where we were talking about the impact of the Olympic gold medal, both women's and for the men. Some breaking news that came out last night in the president's State of the Union address. He said that Connor Hellebuck getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom for his efforts during the tournament, the Olympic tournament. Your thoughts on that, bud?
Man, I'm happy for Connor. He gets a lot of heat because he doesn't perform well in the postseason, or he hasn't with Winnipeg. So there's been a lot of heat on Connor. So I think him taking this next step in the Olympics, getting that achievement, I think that could carry over if Winnipeg can make a run and actually get into the playoffs. They're not looking good right now when it comes to the playoffs. They're not out of it, but they need a huge run to get back in it. But I think this does a ton for Connor's confidence and for that team going forward.
Yeah, and I do think that kind of leads into tonight, because we got hockey tonight. Finally, it's back. It is there, and so much going on. But how do you think the Olympics affects that 2-week period, affects these guys with all the overseas travel, the changes in timelines and the whole thing, your body clock's shifting, and then a fairly quick turnaround for both the U.S. and the Canadian teams to kind of get back into the action tonight?
Yeah, and you see guys like Jack Eichel's on IR. Who knows if he's actually really hurt? It's probably just some off time to get him some rest. But you got some guys who played a ton and they may have some slow legs, but you have some guys who will just turn around and have a great game tonight. I'm looking more at those guys who didn't go to the Olympics. A lot of the Russian guys, like Ovechkin, is a guy that I think could have a big game tonight against Philly. Looking at that and just looking at guys who didn't go over, I like to give them 2 or 3 days rest before I start betting player props on them again. When it comes to the actual games, though, the overs have been hitting like crazy right after the Four Nations. So don't be scared to play overs. I would just be wary on the certain player props of guys who are over there.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, why do you think that is? That you see just a influx in offense, especially after something like where you would think it would be a little more defense with all these guys on the IR or getting rest?
Say it again. You cut out. I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say, why do you think that is, that you see the overs, especially since you have all the stars who are as
yeah, it has I think a ton of it has to do with just trying to get their legs back, right? They're not as efficient. Goaltenders, especially. I know Hellebuck's not playing tonight for Winnipeg. The other guy's playing. Can't remember his name. But he's going to be playing. And then just the defense as a whole, we're kind of it's one of those things. You take 2 weeks off something you've been doing, like say working out. You go and you try to bench 225 after you haven't done it for 2 weeks. You're going to be a little slow in to get up. So I think that's a lot of it too, especially with the defense. They're going to be a little slow to get back into this game. And I see Joe's comment, poor Robbie. We'll make it work. Joe. We'll make it work.
And Joe's comment, listen, right now we're on a Hellebuck and a prayer. That's what we're on.
Yeah.
So going into tonight, then we finally got some hockey back. You know what? And I'm not going to push this Wi-Fi any further or any harder than I have to right now. You know what? We're not going to even hear from Seabass. Robbie, I'm just going to go straight to you. What do
Sorry, Mark. I know you're having some trouble. Hey, we're going to go to Alexi Protas for the Washington Capitals tonight to register a point, getting this at minus 105. He ended the first half of the season really well. He scored 3 goals and 3 assists in his last 4 games. Washington's a team that didn't send the guys over. Tom Wilson went on the trip, but for the majority, a lot of those guys stayed back and they're rested. Ovechkin should have enough drinks and Subway in his system now that he's fully rested and ready to get back to action. So I like him tonight. If we don't get to the light the lamp section, Alex Ovechkin will be my light the lamp. But Protas has actually played well against Philly. He has a point in 4 straight, 1 goal and 4 assists. So give me Alexi Protas at 1+ point at minus 105. Like I said, if we lose Mark, Alex Ovechkin anytime goal plus 160. He has a goal in 6 straight versus Philly. Love him to light the lamp tonight. Oh, brother. Let me get some backup. Hold on just a second.
Here we There I am. You know what? Hopefully this works. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm rolling with it. I don't care. We're going to hook 'em horns because in the words of Matthew McConaughey, all right. Listen, Texas has hit this line in 9 games straight. And yes, they're taking on the Florida Gators, and the Florida Gators defense is absolutely a beast without question. And be focused on that defense. Here's what happens, though. Is Florida going to score points? Hell yes, they are. They're going to score a bunch of them. That forces the Longhorns to have to keep pace and have to keep running. They have to keep putting points on the board to keep this going. It's a game where the line is at 162.5 for the over-under. You can't get there without Texas getting into the mid to upper side for the Horns against Robbie's Gators. Robbie,
I don't know how much the Horns score tonight. I know they're going to get their doors blown off. There you go.
Am I stuck here? I don't want to be stuck here.
Yeah. Hold on. I got some help on the way.
Horrible.
Mark, go have another drink, buddy. I got some help on the way.
Yes, some help on the way. All right.
Yeah. Hey.
All right. What was happening there with Marcus Aurelius? Anyway, all right. So I'm glad that he gave his take. So that was more of the and I wanted to look at it. Let me go back to that real quick.
Yeah.
It looks like it's Texas team total over 76.5 at minus 110. I like this score to go over in that game. Do you think that, Robbie, the Gators, can they slow down at any possible chance, those Longhorns, to Mark's case, making that 77 points for the Longhorns?
No, I like the Texas team total. I think it's a high-scoring game, but I do think Florida could win by almost double digits in this one. It seems to be what they're doing as of late. But no, I really do actually like that play because their games have been going towards the over, unlike Tennessee and Missouri, who we had 142.5, finished at 142 last night. And that is why I hate playing overs.
Yeah, I want to look at the model real quick and kind of see how that game looks to be on paper because right now that it's projected to go 77 to 82, 83. I like the total in the entire game, but I do like also Texas on that just because Florida, they may or may not play defense. We don't know. So we'll see. But looks like we do have Kim saying, I hope the Gators pound them down horns.
Yeah.
It's all right. All right. We'll see. I do want to talk about something I sent to y'all earlier, and I know Mark's here just like honestly getting FOMO right now just watching us do this. I want to pull up because I was not ready for this, so I apologize. I want to pull up the UFL stuff because I thought that was interesting, the info coming out of the UFL. And no, I'm not lighting the lamp just yet. You know what? Let's do that because I know Mark might need to get out of here, and if we don't light the lamp now, we could lose it. We could lose the crap. So let's actually go to that. Let's go to light. Sorry. That was Mark here. But now I am back. We'll see if we can bring Mark on. Mark on, if you're, give me a thumbs up if you want to do light the lamp with us. Let's see if you can get this. All right.
There's a thumbs up.
Hey, all right. I got a little thumbs up. All right. So let's light the lamp here. Robbie. Where are you going lighting the lamp today here? Looks like we got Nikita Kucherov plus 120, Leon Draisaitl plus 120, Jason Robertson for those Dallas Stars on this screen. Y'all didn't know that. I knew who that was. Plus 125, Zach Hyman plus 155, and then Alex Ovechkin at plus 160. Who's lighting the lamp today, Rob?
Hey, no lie, this is a good list if you're just looking for like a point parlay. I like all of these guys' spots tonight, but my favorite is Alex Ovechkin. Like I said, he's been drinking all the vodka and eating all the Subway on his time off. That's his superpower. He's going to come back ready. He's killed Philadelphia, scoring 6 straight at home against the Flyers. So give me Ovi at plus 160.
All right, who's drinking too many shots? No, I'm sorry. That was about Mark. Who is lighting the lamp today, Mark? Who you got, man?
Listen, I love the narrative for Jason Robertson. He's a little salty that he wasn't over there in Italy. I love this spot for him to cut, to show up, especially with so many of the Dallas Stars on the IR. This is a great spot for him to show up and score a goal.
Nate says Ovi should do well after a long break.
Yeah, he notoriously does really well after his long breaks. So he's like a bear, man. He's been in hibernation.
Ovi drinks more than I do.
He does. That's a lot.
That's probably true. All right, I don't know where to go here, but I do want to. I do like Draisaitl, but he just played in the Olympics, so I can't go after anybody who just played in the Olympics. I don't even know. Do the Ducks play tonight? I haven't looked today.
They do. They play Leon.
The team who they play?
The Oilers. They play Leon and the Oilers tonight.
All right. Well, would Mr. Gautier, Mr. Goldchain himself be a good look?
It wouldn't be a bad look. Let's put it like that. I'd like Cutter because Edmonton had a lot of players out for the Olympics. So, yeah.
I ask you, but realistically, I have a friend that is always here. So I'm going to ask, what do we have today? All right, let's go see. Will Cutter Gautier score a goal?
Yes, it is certain.
Oh, we got a yes. So we're going to go with Cutter Gautier today to score a goal for lighting the lamp. So if you want to like any of these guys, obviously Mark puts a great list here, but I'm going to go off the board, and me and Mr. Predicto are going to cash in on some Cutter Gautier for sure. But let's go ahead and finish this thing out, and I'm going to slide not to Mark, and now I can't even get on the screen. There we go. I don't know why. It literally, I was like, I had the right buttons clicked. It would not let me on. All right, so we're going to go away from Mark, even though I think we're officially away from pushing any buttons that will bring him up on the screen. But I do want to go to the UFL stuff because I thought it was interesting, and this is the stuff that I know that y'all were going to hit on anyway. Let me see if I can find it. All right, here we go. So, all right. So Front Office Sports put this out about the UFL announcing new rules coming up for the spring season. The tush push is banned. What are your thoughts?
Let's see how it goes. I mean, I was under the impression, like me and Mark were talking, I don't think it's a huge swing in the NFL. You got one team who perfects it. Others have utilized it and made it work. Mark Andrews had a great touchdown off of it. But in the grand aspect of things, it really comes down to the officials calling a false start or not, because they seem to have the most trouble with it than the actual players. So I'd like to see how it goes in the UFL, and maybe if the NFL takes notice and thinks they need to implement it, then go for it. But I don't think it's done enough damage in the NFL to be banned yet.
No, and I don't think it's done any damage at all in the UFL, but I think they're trying to change some things and trying to take some risk. And honestly, this could be an NFL thing where they say, hey, try out this stuff and see how it works, because that could be a way to eventually move these in, such as other leagues, especially in minor league baseball. They're trying new leagues. Like last night I watched the Memphis Hustle, which is in the G League for the Grizzlies, and it reminded me, so when they get fouled, I don't know if you know this, or most people might not know, but when they get fouled, and let's say it's a shooting foul, or even if they're in the bonus, whatever it might be, they don't shoot 2 free throws. They shoot 1 free throw for a chance to have 2 points. So it's a 1 for 2. And so there's no more 2 free throws. There's literally not a time that you shoot 2 free throws in the game. And so if you make it, you get 2 points. If you miss it, you get no points. And so it's big on keeping the speed of the game, not being so dead, but also it rewards you for being a good foul shooter, especially in your first one, and not having to get your second. So thought it was interesting. All right, so the 60-plus field goals, 60-plus yard field goals are worth 4 points. Brandon Aubrey, you did damage there, and now you're coming to the NFL doing damage. What do you make of that one?
I don't hate that. I mean, it gives the kicker a little bit more incentive. And as we talk about incentives and Brandon Aubrey, sign the damn contract. You're a kicker. Come on. Don't hold us hostage over $10 million. But no, I don't hate that rule either. I mean, I think the further back you go, the more it should count. And it's kind of like with fantasy football. You get more points the further back they kick. So I'd like to see how that actually works in the UFL.
Well, it's the same thing like when NBA introduced the 3-point line, gave them 3 points. It would be like shooting from half court for 4. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. I just think that would kill basketball. In this instance, I think there's this rule for this other rule that's coming up, and it was no punting from inside opponent territory. So if you're on let's say you're on the 40-yard line, you have to go for it, but you can also kick a field goal, and it's usually 18 yards. And so that would, in hindsight, I believe it's the same with the UFL. I don't think there's no Canadian where there's an extra yardage on the end zone. But I believe it would be then a 58-yard field goal. And so at that point, you're talking about if you're at the 42, that's a 60-plus yard field goal. And so that actually benefits that. Do you think that they put that in there because of the 60-plus or vice versa?
I do. I think that goes hand in hand with that 60-plus. Here's your incentive. If you get inside the 40, you could kick a 60-plus and get an extra point, or, you got to go for it. I don't really hate that rule either, especially with these are minor league teams, right? These are guys that could have potentially make it to the NFL if they do well. But it's kind of like the XFL. I miss the old XFL where they had to run out and kill each other to get the ball in their kickoffs. With CTE and everything, we'll never see that again. But I like these changes, and that's a good one. I think if you're going to incentivize the extra point for a 60-yard field goal, then this is not a bad trade-off as well.
All right, so let me give you a little, I guess, a gamesmanship play here. All right, you're at the 48, 47-yard, and it is 4th and 12 or whatever it might be. You then have a false start. Can you decline that if you're the other side? Because then that puts you at the 50-plus, and so you're allowed to punt. Are we going to see too much of that?
Now, they would have to put that in the rules that you can't purposely false start. But then again, how do you purposely false start? How do you determine that? Right. So I think you just got to let that ride, because I think there's too much you'd have to go into determining it. If somebody's smart enough, they get to the 46, we'll take a false start and we'll punt, be done with it. That's just playing within the rules of the game. So if they want to implement that rule, good luck to them. I don't know how you're going to police it.
Yeah, that's going to be the tough part. Is you're going to see that, which realistically, everybody ends up getting what they want, because the other team gets the ball back and they don't go for it. But if you hold them to 4th and 12 and, they're on the, certain yardage where they have to go for it and not you get great field position, at that point, that's part of the game that we're going to play. But I think that there is opportunity for more good than bad. So we'll see. I'm not sure if I like all of these, and I'm not sure if these are all the ones. Have you seen any other possible ones from the UFL that?
I haven't. I just noticed the Memphis Showboats aren't there anymore, and I think that's what was confusing Mark this morning. He said he didn't bet UFL, but he bet a lot on the Memphis Showboats, and they're not there, so that's what got him thrown off. And to your point with that false start, teams take false starts a lot, depending on trying to get better field goal range or trying to get better punt range in the NFL. So by doing that, it's not really any different than somebody doing it in the NFL to get further back. Yeah. So I don't hate that rule.
I do see some more. So the 60-plus yard field goal would be 4 points. 1 foot in bounds is a catch. Red zone penalties revert to half the distance to the goal. That's interesting. I don't know. That means that no matter what it is, there's no – because in the end of the day, it's like 15 yards and you're at the 20. It would do honestly half. I'm guessing what do you think the reason for that one is?
That's beyond me. I'm not sure. I do like the 1 foot in. I don't think you see as many catch controversies in college with it being 1 foot isn't a catch. So I think that's a great rule. I don't hate the college version. I know a lot of people that can turn people off for whatever reason. But when you have only one catch, it's a lot easier to decide if it's a catch or not than trying to get both of them in. And as we've seen in the NFL, there's a ton of that goes on throughout the year.
All right. So Joe's saying, I heard once they cross, they can't punt. Penalties don't matter. That would actually take away the penalty issue. That's actually smart.
Then you definitely can't get a penalty at that point, because then you're going to have to go for it from the 50 and maybe even in your own territory.
Oh, so it's like once you cross that line, like you're all in.
That's what it sounds like.
That's good. I like that. So I'm glad that is not going to be an issue where, and I'm hoping that's going to be true where that is the issue where they enforce that once you cross, you can't go for it again. Overtime rule: 3 alternating attempts per team from the 5-yard line.
From the 5?
5.
Oh, okay. No, I don't hate that. Now, if you said the 20 or 25, I might have some issue, but 3, I don't hate that because you're right there. I mean, come on.
Right. I agree. All right. So Mark is asking, these are questions that I don't have answers to. Okay. Is that the penalties in the red zone if the original line of scrimmage is in the red zone, or all penalties? I think anything that I would because what if it's a from the 30 and they throw a 15-yard, slant and whatever, and they get held and it's in the 20 at that point, and they throw the flag and it would be at the 20, would you get it because it's in the red zone? So then you get like a 20-ish yard penalty because it's half the distance, or is it you get the distance and then once you're in the red zone?
I think you got to be in the red zone for this to take effect first. I don't think
so too.
It matters. Yeah. I would say you have to actually be there. Yeah. Yeah. You got to snap the ball in the red zone. That's my guess. I could be totally wrong. That's my guess.
All right. Well, that's the only thing I see. There is after a touchdown, the options are 1 point you can kick from the 33-yard field from 33-yard line. 2 points, the ball is on the 2-yard line, this is all normal, but 3 points, ball on the 8-yard line.
I'd rather do 3 points for a 60-yard field goal.
Yeah, but most of these dudes can't do it. Unless you're Dallas. Dallas is the only one that feels comfortable at the 60. I thought those were interesting for sure. And so I thought it was a good change. I think they're trying things, and I don't think it's as much of the XFL rule changes. Right. I think it's more of the, hey, let's see if we can help maneuver and change the game, be agents of change to where you're doing that compared to being something different. So the UFL, they are obviously not in Memphis anymore. So long, showboats. They sucked anyways, and so I'm glad that they're out of here, even though nothing else is happening good in the Liberty Bowl. But maybe Memphis with their new football team, they'll be good. We'll all forget about the showboats because I think we already forgot about them. Anyway, see if you like this play. Ohio State from Taj, plus 7.5 going against Iowa State.
Iowa State versus Ohio State. Now, I don't usually go against Ohio State. I don't do a lot of college basketball betting, but anytime I have, I've usually been on the side of Ohio State. So, no, I don't hate that at all. But like I said, I'm not the college basketball guru, but I don't hate that.
Yeah, where's Boom Boom right now? I'm trying to look for it real quick on the site. Can you find it? Because I can't find it. I'm looking for the big O. Are they playing? Oh, my God. Iowa. It's not Iowa State. It's Iowa Hawkeyes.
It's Iowa. That's it.
So Iowa is projected to win by 7 points according to the model. So you're right there at it. So it is not Iowa State's Iowa, which is the Buckeyes, or not Buckeyes versus the Hawkeyes. Now that I'm getting everything confused. So yes, I think it'll be a good game. I haven't followed Iowa or Ohio State very closely, but I do know there's a game that a lot of people might be interested in, especially our Madam Presidente, and that's going to be Xavier taking on Providence. I don't know if if you were just to think a normal total, what do you think the total of that game is if you don't actually know what it is?
I would guess 120, 130 is where it would be set to.
Okay, it's not there. Let's go a little higher. Like a normal one's like 140, 150, maybe 160s. It's 171.5.
Damn.
Does that surprise you for X?
It surprised me for any college team to be that high. Usually it's like around 150, 160. So yeah. Yep. So I would play the under.
I think the model has the under just because there's so much room to go under compared to over. And but I like that. I like watching games like that. It should be a track meet. We're also going to see Alabama play tonight. That team is always in a track meet. She asked if did I pronounce the X. I think maybe I said Xavier, but it's I'm thinking of Xavier because that is the name of somebody's son, but it's Xavier. So, yeah, anyway, I apologize. All right, anything else you're excited about watching tonight? Hockey is back. What's the game that you're going to watch tonight? If you have the clicker, the remote, you got to turn on one game only. Would it be a Preds game? Who would it be?
Won't be the Preds. They're not on. Probably Toronto and Tampa because you've got a lot of guys coming back from the Olympics on some of those games. Nikita Kucherov didn't go to the Olympics, so I want to see how he comes out off of a rest. But I like that game, and then it's Survivor tonight. So I'm going to be watching a little bit of Edmonton and Anaheim for the late night game while I'm watching a 3-hour Survivor show, which is ridiculous for any CBS show to be 3 hours. What are we doing?
Yeah, but I don't have that time. like I have time, but I don't have that time. I passed out last night very early and slept in, which is crazy. I'm going to have to get with you after this and talk about some Survivor stuff because I think it'll be interesting. But besides that, I think it is Survivor. I think it's college basketball. There is some NBA on tonight. It is hockey night. Everybody's getting back. So I'm curious how all that plays out. I think we're getting back to normalcy now that that all of the Olympics are done. We're getting to the stretch of things because at this point, in just a few weeks, we'll be talking like seriously about March Madness and looking at all those how it all shapes up, who's the best team, the 1 seeds, 2 seeds, all that kind of good stuff. But we'll see.
It was a different feel before the show today. I was like, okay, we actually have something legit to talk about. Hockey's back. My Magic beat the Lakers in dramatic fashion last night, 110 to 109, because LeBron and Luka suck. Can't beat my Magic. So good job, Orlando, getting that done.
Nice. Well, I see that Mark has weighed in with the model at 164.9 under that 170.5. That's a decent edge there. With a Z has to go. I got it. All right. So he says there have been lights out beyond the arc. They want to keep this competitive. They shot well beyond 3, but it's going to be a challenge to go over. I think this is going to be a fun game, and I know a lot of people enjoy college basketball, especially when they're getting up and down, 3-pointers being shot. So I think it'll be a game. If you haven't watched either of these two teams, I think it's a good chance to watch them tonight. 2 really good teams that go on the over most of the time. This could be a game that somebody hits. It's like 90 to 100. Like it could go up to 190 points, like that high. If for some reason these teams get hot beyond the arc, we're talking about teams that can fill it up. So I'm curious to see it. That's all we got. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Thanks to Mark's Wi-Fi for having to rush me into line of duty here. We're not sure about tomorrow because actually Mark's off. So it's just me and you.
He's off.
We hopefully we'll see Mark again Friday. If not, we'll just liquor him up and put him by the pool and just put a camera on him, no talking. And we'll watch him as we do the entire show.
Weekend at Bernie style.
Exactly. We'll prop him up on a chair and just kind of put him there, just hanging out.
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you all for hanging out with us. Have a good day today. We'll see you all tomorrow.